I'm joined here by Dutch and Sam, and we're here to show a really exciting experience that is called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
This is going to show off.
So I'm going to punt it off to
a lot
Dutch,
of the Switch 2 features,
so
right?
he can kind of walk us through what's going on so far.
All right, let's hop into it. I'll take a look here. So we can see we're just kind of dropped in here on this enormous Joy-Con 2.
Nintendo Switch 2
and you just picked
kiosk.
your avatar, so
I did, yeah.
just dropping in.
My avatar here. And I actually can't tell. I haven't decided if like I'm tiny or if the system is huge. I don't know. I can't really tell. So we can kind of walk around on the surface and see these signboards. It's set up kind of like almost like a tech expo or something. We got all these friendly people here ready to tell us all about the new hardware.
That's cool.
Give us all this information. All the parts are labeled with these little signboards, so we can kind of explore around and see all the buttons.
All the buttons and stuff.
And pretty much every single piece of the entire hardware is labeled with these boards, like even pieces that you might not even think about or realize are there. So it's kind of fun to wander around. Some of them have
this
little
is
notes.
new.
Yeah. So here we see the mouse feet. So we saw in the direct and some of the segments so far that both of the Joy-Con 2 controllers can be used as a mouse. So they have the mouse feet there to kind of like glide along the surfaces. And then over here, this is where the mouse sensor is.
Yeah.
So it says these sensors check the surface they're on to work out how they're moved. So that's
cool.
where all that mouse technology is located.
There's a lot of new stuff to get acquainted with here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got the, let's hop over here to this, because this is the SL and the SR buttons right here. So those are kind of redesigned. They've got a different shape and feel to them compared to the Switch console.
But as Dutch was mentioning, like this feels very much like an expo. So it's really a great piece of an experience where you can really see, learn, explore more, especially for somebody that, you know, a new piece of technology or hardware that you're not quite sure or really familiar about. This is a great interactive way for you to experience it, especially like some of these things that we're going to see a little bit later. You really want to have your own personal experience to really get an appreciation of what you're going to see and feel.
And part of that is that here we see one of the components is the quiz
HD Rumble
here.
2.
And that is really like a rare look kind of behind the curtain about how this system was built, how the hardware is built, and some of the design decisions that went into
HD Rumble
it.
2.
Yeah. So this is a good spot to learn about this. So this one's about the HD Rumble 2 function.
And for those of you at home, pay attention. There might be a pop quiz later.
All right, so again, we have a little diagram here, a little animation showing us these specific spots on the Joy-Con 2 controller and the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. And this is where the HD Rumble 2 components are located. So we get a little cutaway diagram here. You can see those orange rectangles there. And it tells us that these are custom built from the ground up. So this is not the same Rumble hardware that was in the Switch
Okay.
So they're in both controllers, and they
So
had to
it
go do like a full customization.
It's really interesting to see that diagram too, because where they are positioned specifically in the Joy-Con 2 as well as the Pro Controller 2, it's right in the palm of your hands.
That's right.
We'll talk a little bit more about that too.
And we see that we use magnets and electromagnets to shift a weight, and that's how the rumble function is created. So this is an example of one of the older rumble functions in older Nintendo controllers. So you have a little axis there with a weight spinning around on it. But here with the HD Rumble 2, it's not spinning, it's vibrating side to side at a high speed. So it's like a different system that they're using for the HD Rumble 2 function.
That linear motion.
Exactly, and it tells us it's the same kind of technology that you use.
It's actually like super insightful,
allow them
man.
to move at high speeds. So
Very
moving it sideways
insightful.
makes it easier to rumble in various ways, and you can really feel that with the hardware. We'll get into that a little bit later. Let's see how that comes across. Let's go over here, see a little bit more. So it has a range of intensity, so it can be weak, like a gentle touch, or much stronger. And at the maximum strength, the sensation will be much stronger than the HD Rumble on Nintendo Switch. And I can attest to that, you know, having these in my hands right now. At the peak, it is a lot more intense than on the Switch system.
It feels very satisfying.
It does. It does. But, you know, it's not going to be at that full intensity the whole time you're playing a game. It's, you know, they'll save that maximum intensity for certain moments where it makes sense. All right, so it's weak or strong. and the maximum power won't be constant.
So you get that variation, which is going to be, very interesting, especially on how different experiences or games apply and use the HD Rumble 2 and how you can, get that experience.
And this part is telling us about where they're located. So you can see that orange rectangle down there at the bottom. And they've been designed to transmit the sensation directly, no matter how you're holding them. I think this is interesting. We get a little blown out view of the different components of the controller. And they've located it in the spot, on that spot on the back, on that last piece on the right. And that's because that's the part that has the most contact with your hand while you're holding the system. So you can kind of see right down here.
Yeah, it's really thoughtfully designed where like the bulk of your hand contacts the controller.
That's cool.
And these are those little design insights that you don't always get to see with Nintendo products.
Exactly.
Outside of something like an Ask the Developer article where you get a little bit more of the designer's thinking.
Yeah, it's
there's a lot of that featured in Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour.
Yeah.
All right, so let's make our way down here. We're going to go to this little cube over here, cube with a little 01 on it. We're going to talk to this person. And they're going to tell us this is a tech demo. So this isn't really like a mini game per se, but we'll jump in here. This is going to be about that HD Rumble 2 function. So we're going to see what it's capable of and what it's like.
Okay.
For those of you at home, what you'll see is what we're seeing, but Dutch here is actually able to feel the experience of the HD Rumble 2. So again, just to reinforce that, you really need to get hands-on to really get the full experience.
Yeah, we could try and communicate the feeling as best we can, but really this is something you got to get in your hands.
Yeah.
All right, so we see we've got our little checklist of things that we can do on the side, or on the right side. And if we check off everything on that list, then we'll get a medal. That's a little silhouette there. And then we can use that to unlock other parts of the game. So let's hop in. So I've got my maracas here. Can kind of shake them around. And right now, obviously you're watching us, so you don't have them in your hands, but I'll try to describe it for you. So we've got kind of like a light, it feels like there's like tiny, like plasticky things inside. It's like kind of a dry feeling, I guess, if that makes sense.
You can actually feel the beads that we're seeing on screen.
Yeah, I can feel it. And then let's see. So we've got, we see on the bottom, we can change from beads to a rubber ball. So I'm going to change that on the left one. And like, you can feel it bounce around. And I know, I know it doesn't make sense to say this, but it feels heavier. Like, obviously pushing the button doesn't make the controller heavier, but like when I bounce it side to side, it feels like, like the bouncing is like stiffer and like maybe a little, it feels like bouncy. Yeah. It feels like it's made of rubber.
But I think, in the right Joy-Con there, you can feel that there are many individual objects in there, all bouncing around, and you get a sense of the texture of that. Like you were saying, they feel kind of hard, right? Whereas in the left Joy-Con, you can feel that it's made of rubber. It's got a bounce to it.
Yes. Yeah. All right, and then let's see, I'll change it back to this, and then the last thing on our list is to change the appearance. And I'll change that one.
Shake the maracas 100 times.
Very festive here. Nice. Getting the rhythm of things. Yeah.
Right. That was already 100 times?
So we got our medal. We finished everything on our checklist. So let's go ahead and hop out here. And let's go over here. Oh, okay, so we see, I can just open that back up again so we can take a look. We got this kid here who wants to tell us about his 10 medals.
Bragging rights there.
So I'll open this up here. So we can see up at the top, we're in the tech demo section. So we did this one. We've got our medal for it here.
So right now you're exploring the left Joy-Con too.
Right. Yeah, all of this is on the left Joy-Con too. Let's go around here and talk to this person who wants to tell us about the HD Rumble 2 function. So this is a mini game. So we just saw a tech demo before. This one is an actual mini game.
Okay.
And so we're going to try to use the HD Rumble 2 function to find a single point on the screen. So let's see. So this one also uses the mouse control. So I'm just going to put the Joy-Con 2 controller flat down on the surface, and I'm going to click it to get started. All right, so we see the orange dot in the middle there. And my job here is to move this orange dot along a single line here. And as I got close to the hidden point here, I'm going to start feeling the vibration in the controller. So I'm starting to get it. Over here on this side, I've got nothing. There's nothing over there. I'm going to move it this way. It's starting to get a little bit stronger. It's kind of like a pulsing, kind of like a dun, 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 dun. And as I get closer, the speed doesn't change. It's just the intensity of the rumble. So
you're trying to find the point where you feel the strongest rumble.
Yeah. So I think it's starting to fade off on this side.
This is actually really cool, man.
It's pretty strong right in here. And then it's starting to fade off a little bit on this side. I'm going to go right here.
Oh,
all right, that's okay.
Yeah,
Not
not bad.
62 is not bad. Not good enough for a medal, though. So I'm going to try it again.
Try again.
You could see those measurement markers on the top and bottom of the screen, and that gives you an indication of just how close and how precise.
I read that apparently,
It's
I
almost
think
like
it
trying
was
to find
VGC that
the
said
right
it.
radio signal.
I think this is like $6 USD.
And I should say, too, it's not
to
like
buy this. Some people might say, like, yeah, I should have
really
came with the
distinguish,
Switch.
like, oh, yeah, this is level 1 vibration,
But
this is level 2. It's
for
like
$6, I
very
don't mind.
gradual. And I'm feeling like right.
There's a lot in this. They put a lot. I mean, clearly they put a lot of thought, a lot of work in this thing.
Intersection right here.
Ooh, that was very close hole.
Okay.
Nicely
All right,
done, Dutch.
I'll give me
Very
3 medals.
good. Very good.
I want to
All right,
like.
so let's go ahead and back out of here.
These are
So
really
it's just one
cool, like
example
little
of
mini games. You
a
know,
mini game.
show
One
off
thing I
like
didn't think
I
about
love
till a lot later
little
is that
things like this to
a lot
show
of
off
people
the
are
tech.
familiar with using a mouse on a computer, right? But you don't have rumble in your mouse on a computer.
That's true.
Yeah.
So like the sensation of using a mouse with rumble in it
So
is
you gotta do
very
part one to
different
open up
than
part
using
two.
just a traditional computer mouse.
Yeah, it kind of opens up a whole new like type of input that you can use when you're using mouse controls for a game.
Yeah.
So we see here we've opened up another level of difficulty for this minigame, but we need 8 medals to access it. And we can see in the upper left-hand corner, we only have 3, so we can't go to that one right now. But
The experience definitely encourages you to keep exploring and then come back and see what's opened up.
yeah,
And you can see by the medal counts that there's a lot to explore here.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another minigame that focuses on the mouse controls. I'm going to hop in here, and this one is all about dodging the spiked balls. I'm going to take the left one off because this gets pretty intense here. All right, so let's start. This one starts off in survival mode. So I'm basically just trying to dodge the spike balls for as long as I can.
This is something I think a lot of people are gonna end up
mouse
sleeping
controls,
on,
so I
man.
just set the Joy-Con 2 controller
But if they seen,
down
if
on the
more people
table
seen this, I think they'd be.
and hop in.
I don't
So
know.
I've
I
got
think
my little
they'd be into it. I don't know.
spaceship here.
I'm into
And I'm
it.
flying the spaceship around with my mouse controls.
I like these little kind
And
of.
I just got to stay out of the way.
Oh, that's
easy,
cool.
right?
Oh, well, let's see, Dutch. So the longer you survive,
These are
the
cool,
more
man. Like,
intense
I
it
like
seems
that
to
there's,
be
like,
getting.
really,
Also,
like, cool mini games.
They don't let you get too comfortable.
Oh.
Oh.
They don't let you get
I'm
too
going
comfortable in any one place. If
Yeah.
you stay in the same place for too long, the spike balls will start hunting you down.
Yeah, it's almost like they're magnetized towards you and they just want to end you.
That's how it feels,
Ooh.
so I'm glad that you justified my feelings by pointing that out. So.
Oh, he's like,
Okay.
oh, bro. Oh my
Believe
gosh.
in you, Dutch. You got this.
Bro. Oh.
You've already beaten your previous time.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We'll get
So
the
the
green
goal-
now. Let's go.
Starting game.
Oh, yeah.
Green one.
So
Yo.
the longer
I wanna
you
play this
survive,
so
the
bad.
more
This looks so
obstacles
fun.
get added, so
Yeah,
the
yeah.
challenge keeps going.
Get
It's like
here.
the Mario Party mini games, but like in
Nice
tech
work, nice
demo
work.
versions, you know?
I mean, it is really responsive. So like you can
Oh my gosh,
you can
bro.
Get yourself out of some pretty sticky situations here. Whoa.
Serpentine. Serpentine.
All right. Oh.
Bro. I would have been dead by now, I think.
red ones,
yeah,
the red
now-
ones.
I am so
now we got
entertained
it
by
right.
this.
Oh, no. Oh, but you did it. You got it.
All three, let's go, dude. I was
sweating.
so
All right.
entertained by that.
All right. Well, that's that's a little taste of it here. So then let's take a look. So we got those 3 medals.
This is cool, man.
So now we have
Like,
5
I don't
medals
care what anyone says.
total.
I'm like, if
got
it was like $50, I'd be like,
6?
okay.
Okay.
Excuse me, probably not. For like $10?
All right,
Still not
he says
enough
he has
to get-
15, so
I'm
all
down.
right, let's go.
He keeps hunting you down
no,
just
he's
to
fine.
brag
He's
how
got-
many medals he has.
Yeah.
Look, we got a lot
all
of
right, so
mini
we have
games in here,
enough
man.
medals now.
And this is
to
only the
access
Area
next level of
1,
difficulty here
Joy-Con,
that
or
unlocks
Area
2
A.
medals. So it's the same concept.
There's
I'm gonna be
probably
flying my
mini games that
little,
use the voice,
UFO
too, I would assume.
around. But
the-
instead of
with
just
the
survival
microphone.
this time, the objective is to pick up as many stars as I can.
Dodge the
So
spike
let's
balls and
jump
catch
in
the stars. Oh my gosh.
So we can see over here, for 1 medal, we've gone for 20. For 2 medals, we got to get 40.
That gets so much more intense,
See what we can
man.
do.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I believe in you. You just got warmed up in the last round.
Yeah. You gotta get these first ones, so that's the low-hanging fruit here. But then eventually, you gotta kind of risk it a little bit to pick up some of these other ones.
Yeah, sometimes these
what does it need, 40?
will appear right on top of the spike
Oh,
ball. And
gosh.
it's pretty precise. You can get just into the corner of it and collect the star without hitting the spike ball.
But it's a little bit of strategy too, because sometimes it's just not worth it. Just go for the other one.
Oh.
Okay.
Bro, he's so close.
The longer you stick around, the progressively more difficult it gets.
I don't know why this is so freaking entertaining to me, dude. You got it, though.
That got hard. Hey, we got both of them. Nice.
Right. Oh, man.
This is...
well, I can sit here playing this one all day, and I have before, but...
Yeah, they're like arcade experiences where you just want to keep playing and get a higher and higher score.
Incredibly entertaining, man. Maybe I'm just a small-brained
For this one, you were using
peasant,
just one mouse.
But I like
later, these mini games get progressively more difficult, and later they introduce using 2 at the same time, and that broke my brain when I had to do it for the first time. Because like you're used to using a computer mouse, right, with your dominant hand, but when you have to use 2 at the same time, something happens.
It's a test of eye-hand coordination at maximum.
And we did unlock another level of difficulty there, but we need 29 medals for that one. We're not even close. So let's go ahead and come over here, and we're going to make our way to Area B.
Yeah, I want to see what's in Area B.
And this person's going to check and make sure that we've got all our stamps. You get the stamps from finding the hidden
Good job.
signboards.
Right, and I should mention that we're coming into this segment with some pre-existing save data, where a lot of that stuff had already been collected. A lot of those stamps had already been collected. When you experience the game for yourself, you'll need to do all that on your own.
Correct.
Yeah. So but we're starting fresh here. So all the signboards are hidden. We got to go looking for them. So we can find maybe something down here. We can see the air intake on the lower left over here. Get my stamp here. There's a nice little satisfying vibration with that effect there.
Oh, this is fun.
Woo.
A nice little personal ice skating ring.
Let's make our way over to the other side here, because I do want to take a peek. Let's come over here. We'll take a look at the map. So we'll open this up, and you can get an overview. So on the map menu, on the left side, we've got all the stamps.
There's a lot of areas
over
to
here,
explore.
We can see all the ones that are unlocked on the left Joy-Con 2 controller where we were.
And you can get a little bit of an idea of just how much there is to do here.
Right.
Yeah. See, there's a lot that went into
Tech
this.
demos. This is the one we saw. We got a couple on this map that we can see in this area.
This isn't some like small dinky like
we saw with the
instruction manual or something, you know.
And then over here, these are the insights. So that's the signboards where we learned about the HD Rumble 2. And then this is the map of each area. So the left Joy-Con 2. And then this is the main console area right here.
Yeah, there's a huge checklist of items to go and explore, but also for those that are completionists like myself, I'm definitely going to go through, try to get all of those checked off.
That's what I'm literally thinking. I'm here. I'm like, man,
the microphone.
I want 100%
right
this.
here, and it has some like noise canceling features here.
And so right now we're just scratching the surface. We're just exploring on the top level, but at some point you'll also be able to explore inside as well, because you could see that elevator on the side.
You can go inside the console.
And then one other nice feature of the hardware here is this USB port, the USB Type-C connector on the top of the system, so you can use that to charge the system when you're playing in tabletop mode.
Yeah, that's a huge quality of life improvement.
Or to connect other accessories and stuff. So it's nice to have that second port on the top of the system. But now let's make our way over here to this tech demo. We're going to take another look. This is a fun one because we've talked about how this system is capable of outputting 4K
like a MOUSEPAD down.
Images. And this is a fun tech demo for kind of showing, like maybe thinking about what that means in a different way. It's like a novel way of showcasing what 4K is. Because you can look at like a beautiful high resolution image and it looks nice.
Yeah.
But what if you took something really familiar for a lot of us, like World 1-1 from the Super Mario Bros. Game for NES, and what if you mapped that entire level onto a 4K screen, pixel for pixel, like map the whole thing on. what would that look like?
I should mention we are streaming this in 4K, so if you
Yeah.
can, please watch this on a 4K display. There are a lot of small details that you won't be able to appreciate without watching on a 4K display. And as this particular experience is specifically centers on the 4K output of Nintendo Switch 2, to enjoy this experience, you will need to have a 4K display in order to play this.
That being said, there's still a lot of experiences that you can play without a 4K.
Most all of the experiences, you can play without a 4K display. Okay, so here we are.
So tiny.
I honestly have trouble seeing this.
So the pixel resolution of the original NES system was 256 pixels wide on the display. So what would that look like if you mapped the original art that was drawn for Super Mario Brothers to a 4K display without scaling it? And 4K resolution is 3,840 pixels wide. So you can see
this is so
as
cool,
Dutch is
dude.
progressing in the stage, it's the play field is widening there, and we can fit, the entirety of Super Mario Brothers World 1-1 on one screen.
I'm like squinting right now. It's so tiny.
It is both an impressive feat to see this entire level mapped out on the screen, but also impressive to see Dutch able to complete it.
Well, don't jinx me.
I'm trying not to.
It is
it's words of encouragement.
It is remarkably small, but this just goes to show how many pixels 4K represents.
Yeah, we've come a long way since the NES.
Yeah.
So you can see the entire level fits on a single screen at 4K. All right, so we got our checklist. We didn't finish all the things on our checklist, but that's okay. We didn't get our medal. I'm just going to have to live with that.
That's for the folks at home to experience it once they get a chance to.
That's cool.
All right, so let's see. What else?
It's the little things, man. I appreciate the little things,
This is another fun experience here. That's a frame rate mini game.
Yeah, you can see
the ball changing its frame rate.
All right, but we have some homework to do, some assignments. So let's go ahead and make our way back to the quiz. Teresa did kind of half promise us a quiz at the end.
I want that quiz.
So we're going to come back here to our original quiz kiosk.
What happens if you do the quiz?
And they're going to give us a quiz about the insights that we saw earlier about the HD Rumble 2 function.
And you can get like a medal for it?
All right, question number 1. Which part of the console
HD Rumble
is shown
2.
in the image?
HD Rumble 2.
It is not HD Rumble. It is HD Rumble 2.
That's right, 'cause
let's
HD Rumble
go.
was part of the Nintendo Switch.
Acing the
but since
quiz,
we're talking
man.
about the Nintendo Switch 2.
It shakes from side to side.
So how does the weight used for the HD Rumble 2 feature move? It spins around, it shakes from side to side, it shakes up and down, or it stretches and shrinks. We saw in the original, like the older hardware, it would spin around on kind of an axis.
Yeah, think about how the Rumble on like a Nintendo GameCube controller worked. That was more the spinning style.
But this one, we saw in this little animation here, it shakes from side to side on kind of like that coil, like a weight on a coil. Question the 3rd. Which of the following is true of the strength of the HD Rumble feature?
It can be strong or weak.
Questions are royalty. The 3rd.
It can be strong or weak.
It's always weak, or it can be either strong or weak.
Well, if you remember from the experience that you did earlier where you were kind of sweeping the frequency, it increased or decreased in intensity the closer or the further away you got from the point.
That's funny. It never occurred to me to do this with the mouse controls, but there you go. All right.
There you go.
But yeah, that will allow for variation in your experience.
Yeah.
All right, I can do mouse controls for this.
The
All
back
right,
part.
in the Joy-Con 2 controllers, what are the HD Rumble 2 parts
Number 3.
attached to? The plastic on the front, number 1. The middle part, number 2.
The back.
Or the plastic on the back. Or they're not attached to anything.
Sorry.
They're just hovering in
They're just hovering
space.
loose
The
in
hype
there.
is really
Yeah, and we remember we saw this
exhausting me.
as number 3. It's kind of on this little
waffly area down there.
The waffle. I think that's the technical term. The
Yes,
waffle.
The waffle area.
The waffle.
And it's located there
That's
because
some
that's the
maple
part that
syrup.
has the most contact with your hand where it's going to be held. So that's where you're going to feel it the most. So we're going to say 3, plastic on the back. Let's see how we did.
4 out of 4.
Hey,
we did it.
100%.
Perfect score.
I kept you in suspense there a little bit.
All right. And so just to recap really quick, we saw some insights here that are associated with the quiz. Those are spread all over the hardware. We saw a tech demo with the maracas that highlighted the HD Rumble 2 feature.
Man.
We saw some mini games.
This actually looks really fun.
And the HD Rumble.
I'll be honest.
And there's a lot more content all over the map. You know, we saw this this map here where you can see all the different spots that there are to explore. So there's a lot more that we didn't see. And you can kind of see the, the completion percentage for each section. So we're just scratching the surface.
Gotta get 100%.
Exactly, because again, like
crazy.
there's so much more to explore. There's so much more to just experience, and you'll even be able to get inside the console to learn even more.
Man.
As Sam mentioned, it's like you get to get those dev insights in the palm of your hand, literally. So.
And you might think that you know everything there is to know about Nintendo Switch 2 because it looks so familiar to Nintendo Switch, but even things that existed on Nintendo Switch, like HD Rumble, have been redesigned for Nintendo Switch 2. So there's a lot of new stuff to learn.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
well, thank
cool.
you again, guys, so much for walking us
I'm getting
through,
it,
and
man.
thanks everyone for tuning in at home.
I like
getting
that.
a little bit of the experience of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Next
That's a lot
up
better
is
than I
Drag
thought.
and Drive.